What's up, Rams? Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Local Beats presented by 90.5 KCSU Fort Collins, your college radio station. I'm your host, Haley Justino, and for this episode, we were lucky to host an in-studio performance by local band One Flew West, and afterwards we got the chance to sit down with them for an interview. One Flew West is a band formed in Longmont and currently out of Denver that embraces their own brand of folk and pop-influenced pop rock. One Flew West has been a big player in the Colorado music scene, having placed in the top 3 of KTCL 93.3 Hometown for the Holidays competition and the recipients of various Westward Magazine awards. Here's a quick look at their latest EP, Trial and Error.
What's up? We're One Flew West. This song is called Lyndon's Song. Let's get it. Wish that I could say I understand the way it's supposed to go. We try so hard and in the end I know that I want to be taken seriously, but at the end of the day, what good does that do me anyway? So let's just have a little fun. I'm not the number one, I'm overrated. Tell myself that I can make it happen if I try, but this is all we got and then we die. And I don't care if I get paid, it's time to make some ways I gotta try. So let's just have a little fun. I'm not the number one, I'm overrated for my time to come. This song is not Dumpweed by Blink-182. I guess I'm growing up. But as the days go by, I think I'm doing it wrong. I got a degree, but they keep asking me, if you got plans, what have you got going on? But hey, hey, what the hell do I know? I still feel like a child. I don't need any questions, I just wanna do my own damn thing. Well, all my friends are getting married, finding idle jobs and moving far away. But I'm just me, that's how it ought to be. If you've got a problem, you can just say it to my face. Hey! But hey, hey, what the hell do I know? I still feel like a child. Hey, I don't need any questions, I just This next song is called Stayin' In. It's about staying at home and doing a whole lot of nothing. I don't wanna go out with you tonight. I wanna stay at home. I'm in an antisocial state of mind. I need some time for me. I'll tie one on and watch some X-Files on TV. But I just gotta let you know that I just wanna be alone. So I'm staying in at home, staying in at home. Oh, I don't got nowhere to go. I'm just staying in at home, staying in at home. Oh. I know you're having fun without me, but it's okay, 'cause I got my own bottle of whiskey. You know that I'll be out with you and everyone next time. But until then, you gotta know that I just wanna be alone. So I'm staying at home, staying at home. Oh, I don't got nowhere to go. I'm just staying at home, staying at home. Whoa, it's alright, staying all night. It's alright. Just wanna be alone, so I'm staying in at home, staying in at home. Oh, I don't got nowhere to go. I'm just staying in at home, staying in at home. I just wanna be alone, so I'm staying in at home, staying in at home. Oh, I don't got nowhere to go. I'm just staying in at home. I just wanna be alone. I just wanna be alone. Jet football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola, he said, I know you to be free. Come together right now over me. Bring it down, bring it down. Hip-hop production, you got water scum on, you got on a sidebar, you want spinal cracker, you got feet down below his knees. Well, hold you in his armchair, you can feel his disease. Come together. Come together. Come together. Come together right now over me.
Stay right there because we sat down with One Flew West for an interview after the break.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
And we're back. After the performance, we got to sit down with our featured local band, One Flew West, for an interview about their latest EP and upcoming shows. I'm here with One Flew West. We just had a live performance with them, and I wanted to ask y'all, you had a really big year thus far. You guys put out a new EP, Trial and Error, and I wanted to ask how that writing process was, how the recording process was, just how, what were your thoughts about putting that EP all together?
Oh, it was really fun. I don't know, this EP was like a really different writing process than the other ones we've done, just because we've kind of like, we've been playing music together for a long time, and like as a band, I don't know, when we made this EP, it really felt like we were coming into our own, like sound-wise, because we had always been like working and trying to like establish like a good, you know, like basically like a general vibe and just general sound that we wanted to go for as a band, like for people to like recognize and, you know, be like, that's what that band sounds like. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I think that this EP and like this whole writing process for it definitely like helped us solidify that and like made it so that it was definitely like our own thing, you know?
Absolutely.
And it was really fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
We recorded it up here. So
in Fort Collins?
Yeah, we did.
With who?
With Chris Biebel and Randall Kent at the Blasting Room.
Yeah, we recorded over at the Blasting Room. It's Bill Stevenson from Descendants. It's his studio.
Oh, awesome.
So we spent a week up there and yeah, we just kind of laid it all out.
That's awesome. How do you think your music has changed over the course of you guys being a band? Because you've been making music for a handful of years now. I think you first put out music in 2014.
Yeah.
Something like that. How has your music style grown since then?
It's pretty similar for the most part. It's always been acoustic based.
Yeah.
Like there's never really been a point that it was all electric guitar stuff, and I think that's the most unique thing about us is that it's acoustic stuff. I don't even know how to explain that. It's kind of folky. It's kind of not folky. It's kind of
I come from like a background like songwriting wise. I've always just felt more comfortable writing songs on an acoustic guitar, and just kind of it always just felt better to me. You know, it's kind of like a weird thing you can't describe it. It always ended up making its way, like, because I would always end up writing songs on the acoustic, and I couldn't really hear them any other way than on that. So that would always end up transferring over, and we were just like, well, we might as well just use it in the actual set anyway.
Yeah.
And so it kind of became like just like a recurring thing, and then we started building more songs around like kind of that aesthetic of having like an acoustic stuff and having like that, but really mixing in like more kind of like rock and pop and punk elements too, just kind of trying to mix them all together to where it makes somewhat sense, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And
we don't make a whole lot of sense with a lot of people, so.
Does everybody have a hand in the songwriting process, or is it mostly one person?
Depends on the song for
Yeah.
sure. Like sometimes Lyndon will just knock out a song by himself in an hour. Sometimes we'll spend 6 hours playing the same thing over and over again, not even come up with a song. But yeah, like 2 of the songs on the album, or on the last EP, we all just sat down in a room and knocked out together. And like Lyndon wrote a few by himself.
Yeah.
It's also really helpful when Lyndon already comes to us with lyrics, because we kind of get a feel of what the song should feel like from a musical standpoint, so it helps us with like what we need to say with our instruments in addition to add to his lyrics.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bringing it back to the Descendants, you guys are playing a show at the Mishawaka in May, and on that bill is
it's June, is it?
in June.
Yeah.
June
June
9th.
9th.
June 9th, my
Yeah,
apologies,
yeah,
it's in
no.
June, and that's the Descendants are part of that, or are on that bill. What are your thoughts about that? That's pretty exciting, in my opinion. Descendants
Yeah.
are kind of a big name.
Yeah, totally. We, I don't know. They're definitely like one of. I mean, they're for anybody who knows, they're like the OGs of pop punk,
Yeah.
basically. Like they're the dudes who kind of started everything in that regard.
It's the only reason you have Blink-182.
Yeah, it's like there's can't be enough. There's not enough to be said about those guys. But I don't know. It's really awesome that we get to have an opportunity to play with them because we've all been huge fans of theirs forever.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's super exciting.
And that show is part of the last Warped Tour, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not part of the actual Warped. I mean, it's like, I think Warped Tour is like a sponsorship for it, and I think that's how like it got tied to the contest and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like, but it is like a Warped Tour event, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's pretty cool because it is the last one. I remember in middle school like wanting to go to Warped Tour so bad.
Yeah.
I never got to go, but was Warped Tour part of your?
Do you have strict parents?
Yeah, I did. I was never allowed to go to Warped Tour. Did any of you guys ever get to go?
I did, yeah. I went a couple times. I think the last one I went to was in. Well, actually, I went like 2 years ago, or I mean, it might have been a year.
Yeah, I was
ago,
going
don't
to say,
know.
it wasn't
you
even
were-
middle school for me. I was there like
Yeah.
a year ago. Yeah.
You went last year.
He's young. Yeah, I did go last year. Last year was cool. I was hanging out with this band that one of my girlfriend's friends is super good friends with. They're this band called Real Friends, so I was hanging out with them.
You
and
said
just-
friends like 4 times.
friends of friends of friends,
Yeah.
real friends, yeah. But
Friends of
it was
TV
really cool, and the last one I remember going to was like 2010, I think, and it was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that show at the Mish, have you guys worked with the Mish before, the Mishawaka Amphitheater?
Yeah, we did the Spokesbuzz thing up here. Danny Grant owns the Mishawaka, and she also runs Spokesbuzz. So we were the last, like they have classes, so it's kind of like a graduating class. Like every year they take, I don't even remember how many it is, like 5 or 6 new groups, and then they help you throughout a whole year, and then maybe 2 years, and then you like graduate. Kind of, we never graduated. We were dropouts, I guess, because Spokesbuzz stopped.
Yeah, they stopped being a thing.
Like maybe 2 months after we got in. So that was our luck, but they're still great, and Danny's still great, and everybody else that was part of Spokesbuzz still is important to us. So, and we met a lot of our friends and other bands from that. So
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are playing that show at the Mishawaka with a bunch of other local bands as well. Have you been in contact with them, or is there any like communication between all those bands? Do you know any of them?
Not really, actually, surprisingly.
No.
I mean,
Never
like,
played with any of them.
A lot of these bands, like I mean, it's exciting because like we haven't ever gotten to see any of these bands before, so it'll be cool to like get to check them out.
I think
for
we
the
played a
first
show
time.
with one person in Plasma.
Oh, we
Jam
did actually.
once.
Yeah, that was.
It was a
It was a
different
different
band,
band name.
Yeah, I don't. Why can't I remember what the name was? We were
can't
playing
remember
with
the name
Sean
of the band.
James and
Yep.
Yeah, but we have played with like one of the members of one of the bands before, but not
Not that band.
but not the actual band. So it'll be like pretty new. Like I mean, they're all like, I think, are they all from Colorado Springs or not? Sorry,
No,
not
they're
Fort
from
Springs,
Collins.
Fort Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We're the
cool.
only ones.
And I've heard of Bitter Suns before. That was the only one.
That's right.
I've
Yeah,
heard of.
yeah. We haven't played with them though, so it's kind of it'll be cool to check them all
Yeah,
out
absolutely.
for the first time.
And one last question for you guys.
Yeah.
What is in the future for One Flew West? Obviously, you just put out this new EP. Are you looking to tour, promote it? Are you looking to make some more music? What can people look forward to from One Flew West?
We're gonna do all that stuff.
All the above.
Check them all.
Yeah.
Record more music.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we're gonna be hitting the road. Hopefully
Next month.
Yeah, hopefully next month for a little bit, and then after, we're just kind of, we're booking stuff constantly, like it's never ending. So we're just keep an eye out for everything, and we announce all of our stuff as soon as it happens. So.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
And where can people find you, social media wise? If you want to plug that really
Oh
quickly.
yeah, Facebook.com/One Flew West Band, and then One Flew West Band on Instagram.
And Twitter.
Yeah, and Twitter. Instagram and Twitter are really good places to see what's going on with us. But yeah, Facebook is great too.
All right, well, thank you so much, you guys.
Everything's a
Appreciate
mess.
It. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for putting on a great performance.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, thanks. Big thanks to One Flew West for putting on a great performance and for having an awesome conversation with me. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around to see what's happening in the world of KCSU.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
You are listening to 90.5 KCSU Fort Collins with DJ Mean Beats.
DJ Nightshade. DJ Wildcard. Music to me is one of the best creative outlets that I can think of. An escape from the real world.
Music to me is an expression of love.
To go from like folk to hip hop to like classic rock, 1960s bossa nova. With music, there's like no boundaries.
I work here because I love music, and you do too.
Welcome back, Rams. You're watching KCSU Presents Local Beats. I'm your host, Haley Justino, and this week we have been following local band Orca Wells during their recent tour.
So we left our homes at last.
Orca Wells is a surf punk rock band that is local to not one, not two, but three different places. Olivia Baxter and Alec Williams, the two lead singer-guitarists of the band, met in Omaha, Nebraska and decided to start the band after a few years of playing music together. They added Nolan Broombach, also an Omaha native, and the drummer who met the bassist Jace Haley in Fort Collins. Haley is a resident of New Orleans, Louisiana, and despite the distance, the band says that they still love playing together and find ways to make it work. Orca Wells started off their tour in Omaha, where they played at House Fest, and then came to Denver, where they played at Your Mom's House music venue last Monday. They then had a KCSU in-studio performance and then wrapped up their string of shows with a grand finale here in Fort Collins at Pinball Jones on Friday. The group played an hour-long set with 12 songs, 10 of which were originals. The band recently released a 4-song EP, which you can find on any music platform under Orca Wells. You can also find them on Facebook or at their website, orcawellswordpress.com. Don't leave just yet, because after the break, we'll be taking a look and reviewing some of the freshest music being spun at KCSU.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back, music fans. We are happy to bring our listeners one new album every day at KCSU. Let's review some of the hottest music we're spinning right now. First, we have the latest release from Colorado favorites Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. The album, Tearing at the Seams, was released earlier this month on March 9th, and since then, the first single off of the album, You Worry Me, has been all over major Colorado contemporary stations. However, it's the opening track, Shoe Boot, which caught my attention right off the bat, with powerful organ and brass sections. Interestingly enough, we don't hear from the lead singer until over a minute in. Rateliff has long since established himself as a commanding frontman, so it was refreshing and exciting to hear this song focus on the incredibly impressive talent of the rest of the Night Sweats. Up next, we have the sophomore album from French electro folk pop artist Talisco, Capital Visions. The track, Thousand Suns, utilizes an avant-garde combination of sounds, a unique hook, and daring falsetto to stand out and stand apart within the pop genre. Talisco shows his strummier, more acoustic side in tracks like The Martian Man and Shadows. The band Una and their latest release, Noise of the Wing, An Apology for Annoyance, are probably unlike anything you've ever heard before. Incorporating elements from down-tempo electronic, jazz, pop, R&B, and likely everything in between, it's certainly hard to pin their sound down. Their song, Last Time I Saw You, features breathy vocals reminiscent of early 2000s, occasional jazz piano solos, and a never-ending thumping house beat. Up next, we have the debut solo venture from Widow's Peak. Guitarist Robert Earl Thomas called Another Age in an interview with Spin. Thomas explains that the record is about looking forward and looking back at the same time. My favorite song on this laid-back indie LP is Winona Forever because of its killer guitar riffs, solos and bass lines, and because of the chorus reminds me of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Out of Portland, we have the latest release from rock band Hemet, One Ultra. The 6-song EP blends lo-fi garage rock, power pop, and 80s synth rock for some hard-hitting upbeat tracks, such as Friends. This song starts off strong right off the gates with the energetic guitar and drums that would be perfect background music for a vintage summer road trip. Bringing it closer to home, we have the latest from Colorado band Dubskin with their EP, Light the Dark, which was released at the beginning of this year. Veterans of the local music scene, Dubskin continues to push the boundaries within the reggae genre by unapologetically focusing their lyrics on social and political issues. The soulful vocals and body-moving grooves of the song Birdcage highlight the group's ability to create music that is both enjoyable and thought-provoking. Boston band Carissa Johnson and the Cure-Alls burst onto the airwaves with the hard-rocking punk jams in their album Talk, Talk, Talk. Released earlier this month, we had Carissa Johnson herself in the KCSU studio for a live on-air performance last semester, before she won New Act of the Year award at Boston's 30th Annual Music Awards in December. The opening track and my favorite on the album, Shatter, reminds me of artists like Courtney Barnett and Alex Leahy. And ending on self-described psychedelic sunshine neo-soul, we have the incomparable Madam West with their latest Warm Bodies. On the title track, the NYC-based experimental quintet expertly blends funky bass, silky smooth vocals, clean guitar, and a wide array of other unique sounds together into a sound that is undeniably cool, even if you can't quite put your finger on why. You can find our playlists with these songs on the Collegian Spotify account or hear these new albums and many more. Tune into 90.5 KCSU Fort Collins. Thanks for watching this episode of KCSU Presents Local Beats, and thank you for supporting all branches of Rocky Mountain Student Media.